Ben Johnson asked Ryan Poles, was he married to any of these players? And that just maybe go to the question, what players on the current roster aren't safe? And I sent this to the chat probably like later on the day after the press conference we got introduced. And I saw Caleb walking in, saw DJ walking in, saw Rome walking in, and I saw Cole walking in. And I felt like Paul Dano me. Does he know? It would not surprise me if Cole Kmet is not on this team. I understand he just got paid like 2 years ago. Would not surprise me just because from a speed level, he doesn't look like the kind of player who would thrive in a Ben Johnson offense. We also know DeAndre Swift, they got rid of him in Detroit, I think during Ben Johnson's first or second year as the offensive coordinator out there. So those to me will be the number two. I would be more concerned if I was Cole Kmet more than DeAndre Swift, because I think DeAndre Swift had a pretty solid year despite how terrible everything was last year. And if you go out there and get you one of these stud backs in the third or fourth round, I say third because I don't want to see a position player drafted to the third round. That to me could probably be a 1-2 punch there if they want to do that. But Dante, I'm going to go to you. Is there any player on this offensive side of the ball who should be worried about their position with Ben Johnson coming in control now?
I think DeAndre Swift should definitely be worried just because, like you said, we have seen it before. I know Swift was also injured in Detroit, so maybe he gives him another chance on that. But the offensive line, everybody. If I'm Braxton Jones, I need to start prepping, maybe try to show them that I could play guard or something like that, because I think he will absolutely be replaced. Keenan, I don't think Keenan's coming back. I know he said he was willing to come back on a lesser deal, but I think that with the creativity of the offense and the way he uses different type of receivers, you could see him going out and trying to take a shot on a younger free agent that isn't going to cost as much, or like I said, later in the draft with the amount of capital that you have. But as far as players, I think bro, Swift, the Roschon Johnson experiment, that's dead. That's over with. They will be drafting a running back number 2. I can guarantee that. That's really it for now. Those are really my two that I think, they probably, either won't be here or they're going to slowly but surely see their roles shift into a point where it's like, yeah, the writing's on the wall where they about to get me up out of here.
Bang, who should be looking at Zillow on the Bears offense?
Keenan Allen. I'm not so sure about Cole Kmet being the guy that is the odd man out. Because I think he can be a poor man's Laporta. If you lose a little bit more weight and get a little bit, but I think he'd be okay. But I think Allen and Swift, this is like the running back renaissance couldn't happen at a more perfect time, because this is going to be a great running back draft. You could get you a quality running back day 3 in this draft. So if you could get you a quality running back day 3 in this draft, probably wouldn't be no surprise if Swift ends up being the odd man out.
I see Orlando put Edmonds and Brisker. I don't think they're getting rid of Brisker this early, because honestly, the only problem with Brisker is he can't stay on the fucking field. I have no issues with Brisker playing wise. Edmonds, maybe, and I did find it interesting when Dennis Allen said he liked some of the linebackers. That made my ears perk up. Mikey, who you think might be in trouble on this Bears roster?
On this Bears roster, I'll go with the offensive side. Well, you know me, I've said Keenan Allen will not be back. I think that's all but guaranteed. He's not going to be a vital piece in this Ben Johnson offense. I think they go for speed. I think whether you see somebody drafted, you can convince me on an Isaiah Bond out of Texas. If he's there, because you just can't pass up on that speed. If you convince me of somebody maybe like a Darius Slayton as a vet signing, there's going to be guys out there that I think he goes with somebody with a little bit more speed. So I don't think Keenan be back. I think Cole Kmet probably will be back for this season, but I do believe that they invest in a tight end 2 that will probably get a little bit more snaps as the season goes on. Now you can go the vet way and sign somebody like a Mike Gesicki, or you can go through the draft. This is a very deep tight end and running back draft as far as the offensive skill position You know, you can, if you trade back, you can get extremely freaky and take somebody like Tyler Warren out of Penn State. You know, I don't see that happening, but, you know, there's Colston Loveland out of Michigan. There's Gunnar Helm out of Texas. There's Elijah Arroyo, my Latino brother out of Miami. There's Harold Fannin Jr. Like, there's a lot of tight ends that are going to be very good.
Jason Taylor's son too, been killing at the Senior Bowl.
Yep, and like, you know, there's going to be a lot of guys, and then when you go to the running back room, like, you got Judkins, you got both the Ohio State boys, which are probably going third round. You got Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, who I've been a big fan of. He really reminds me of somebody that fits. If you're looking for somebody with the Jahmyr Gibbs build and speed, that Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee is somebody that can be had in the fourth. You know, Ollie Gordon, you know, everybody forgot about my man because he started getting DUIs at Oklahoma State. But Ollie Gordon was a beast and was, you know, in contention, not this past season, but the following year for the Heisman Award. You know, Marion Hampton out of UNC. There's plenty of running backs. So I think that they probably look to get a running back to play the David Montgomery role this year, while keeping DeAndre Swift for one more year, and then maybe Swift and Kmet will be out in 2026. But, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see how they go ahead and shape this roster, because this roster should revolve around everything that Ben Johnson does well. And, you know, we've seen that he can do a lot of things well, being that he's going to tailor this scheme to Caleb. It's not going to look like what it looked like with Jared Goff. You know, we might see an even more explosive offense, being that you have a more dynamic quarterback back there that can use his legs in Caleb Williams. So I think you're going to need speed. I think you're going to need guys that can get open. I think you're going to need guys that can pick up 5-6 yards per carry and open up that play action. So it's going to be interesting. And then just off of the defensive side, you know, Ryan Poles pretty much on the day of the Ben Johnson press conference, he said that Jaquan Briscoe's going nowhere. They feel fine with him. It's unfortunate that it took him, you know, so long to get out, but they wanted to protect him, get out of the protocol. And he even said, like, if you look back at it, he did nothing wrong on that hit. It was really initiated by Tommy Tremble out of the Panthers. And, you know, so I don't think that there's no need to get rid of Brisker, because he's going into really his last year, and you kind of let it play out. I think you let it play out the same way that you let Tevin Jenkins play out and you let some of these guys play out. But I do think that Kyler Gordon will be the one getting paid this year.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line,